Good morning on the East Coast and all across the United States. Welcome to today's Nutanix workshop. We will be kicking off here about 5 minutes after the hour, but welcome into the room, and we're going to give everybody else a chance to hop in here today, and we'll be getting started. Harvey, Paul, how are you guys doing today?
Doing well. I think we're having that issue again. Oh no, everyone's hopping on, putting on mic. But we have the issue of being muted again.
Yeah, we've got that set up by default.
Nice.
I'm allowing everyone to talk, so we've got a smaller crowd today. And as we get started, if you've got questions, feel free to come off mute. We may even take a few minutes and let everybody introduce themselves too.
I already have a question.
Nice. Shoot, let's go.
I want to move my user profiles directory onto Nutanix Files. Is that a good thing, a bad thing, or what do we think?
It's a great thing.
All right, Harvey gives it a thumbs up. I like it.
Yep. Yeah, it's a very good thing. We do a lot of Citrix that way.
All right, good to know.
Yeah, that's a great move in the right direction.
Because the NAS that it's on now is a dog, so I could use the boost.
Look, I mean, ultimately, I answer that question. Like all of the things that went into your decision to choose Nutanix and why are the exact same reasons, if not more prevalent, for why you should do that.
I like it.
Yeah.
You need to get James a prize for that. I like that question.
I accept all manner of prizes.
Where are you based out of, James? I'm out here near DC, but where are you based out of?
The Fresh Market is headquartered in Greensboro. But I live, I'm working out of my home office in Kernersville, which is kind of in between Greensboro and Winston-Salem.
Gotcha.
So for everybody else joining in, we are going to kick off here in just a few minutes, and we will get started with today's Nutanix Files workshop. Thank you for joining.
Yes, happy Friday too.
Oh yeah. So big plans for the weekend, Harvey?
I am headed to a track meet for my kids.
Nice.
So right back to I leave this and go right back to kids Uber driver, where you receive no tips and no fare. and you may also be abused during the drive. How about you?
Very few plans this weekend other than resting and doing a little bit of choring around the house.
Yeah. Paul, what kind of shenanigans you getting into?
That's what we were doing. Paul, right? Paul's
in my early 30s, holding on. No, I think a couple of friends and I were trying to get people together to play pickleball.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, weather's nice right now.
Everybody's into these days.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of courts open up near my house, or indoor courts.
All right. I need a timeout here. Harvey, you look plenty young enough to be playing actual tennis. Why are you playing friggin' pickleball?
No, I've
We're
never
all
played
switching over.
pickleball.
All of us tennis players are switching over to pickleball. No idea why, but I'm just following the trend. What's cool?
Following the trend.
The
Yeah, it's
last
pretty funny.
time that I played tennis was in high school,
Uh-huh.
and that was just a part of being in PE.
Nice. Yeah, I was in my tennis team as well.
Yeah, I haven't played pickleball yet, but it does look fun. Maybe I'll try that one of these days.
It's easy to get people to join, more people to play than tennis.
Mhm.
It's just a good way to get friends out.
Maybe one day.
We'll get you in.
All right, I think we're at that time. So I'm going to go ahead and kick us off. Once again, welcome and thank you so much for showing up to today's Nutanix Files workshop. I am Phil Sellers. I'm a solutions architect here at Xentegra. And on behalf of the Xentegra team, I wanted to say welcome. I've got some great folks with me today. Up first, Paul Nguyen. He's a senior channel systems engineer for Nutanix. Paul, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, my name is Paul Nguyen, senior channel engineer with Nutanix. Been with Nutanix for coming up next month will be my 5th year. But I've been in the industry for 10 plus, and yeah, happy to have you guys have on the call today. And let's keep this an open conversation since it's a smaller group, and let's talk about Nutanix Files or anything else Nutanix.
Awesome. I've also got my good buddy, Harvey Green. He is CEO of Xentegra Gov. He's a former Xentegra solutions architect, a man about town, and a really smart technician. So,
Oh my gosh.
And he's two-time. Remember that he's two-time NTC Nutanix champion.
yes,
Not one,
two-time.
two-time NTC champion.
So, Harvey, you want to introduce yourself?
I mean, how do I introduce myself following all of that? I'm Harvey. Hi.
Harvey has been a longtime friend of mine. He is a great technical resource, and I'm always happy to have him join in on these sessions. Harvey has done a lot for Xentegra, particularly in the Nutanix space, and has led that banner for a long time. So really appreciate you having you here, and always love your input and questions during these sessions. So
Yeah, man. We'll see if we can stump the chump today.
Paul, I don't know how I feel about that. I think he just called you a name. Well, let's go ahead and dig into the introduction portion today. So a little bit about us. Who is Xentegra? Who's hosting you today? I'm going to take you through that section, and then we're going to turn things over to Paul and start to dig in deeper on Nutanix Files. It's a great technology. It's one of the great parts of the Nutanix platform. So it's fun to get to talk about together. So first up, here at Xentegra, we believe work has no boundaries. So you can work from anywhere, you can be productive anywhere. And in honor of that, we're giving away 2, not 1, 2 Ford Broncos this year, up to, I think, $47,000 a piece. And it's no joke. We're giving away 2 of those. To get all the information and get qualified for it, you can find out the information at workhasnoboundaries.com. But it's pretty simple. Basically, you take a meeting with us, or you do a micro assessment, or you have a conversation about some initiative that you want to have in your work environment, and that'll get you qualified for this. Pretty great odds. Find out more, workhasnoboundaries.com. And who are we at Xentegra? Well, I'll tell you, we started out in the Citrix space, and we've expanded. But we consider ourselves experts in end user compute and cloud computing. We're an international reseller. We've got presence today in the US, Canada, and India. We are hyper focused on that digital workspace and user experience. we've got a number of different divisions within the company. We're your value-added reseller. We like to think of ourselves as a true value-added reseller, or a VAR 2.0, where we put a lot of value back into our customers' hands. Value like complimentary assessments, value like webinars, free workshops like today, supplementing education and attendance to industry conferences. So, we have a conference pass program that we have. So if there are industry events that you would like to attend, we can help you in that way too. So all those ways that we try to add value, as well as be your reseller. We also like to think of ourselves as strategic consulting services, or service providers. So we really try to help our customers understand through education how to leverage the technology best, and how to leverage our knowledge. So we work with a lot of customers. We have a lot of proven track record with different solutions, and the solution providers you see us working with, like Nutanix, we've had a lot of success with them. So we're here to help you with best practices, help you figure out how to strategically use technology to meet your business needs. We also have managed and professional services. Those services, you can offload completely a set of services that you're looking for a service provider to take on with SLAs. We can work with you that way. And we can also work with you in a more acute way with professional services on a short-term service engagement or a scheduled basis, all the ways that we try to help our customers succeed. So who are we? Well, we're a technology team made up of over 700 years of end user compute experience. And that number is probably really old. I think we've been talking about it internally, and that number is probably closer to 900 years of end user compute. We've been growing quite a bit as a company. And so we've been onboarding a lot of great technologists who have 20, 25 years in this space, who've worked across multiple different service providers and technology vendors. So we'd love to help you in your EUC journey. Xentegra was born out of the need for customer enablement and true partnership. What does that actually mean? Stated another way, Andy would say, we're here to build a community and then help serve that community. And that's a lot of what we try to do. We serve the community through all the different types of events that we put on, whether that's a fun event like our Bourbon and Blazers event, or a game night, going out, driving go-karts, things like that. We have all sorts of events that you can take part of. There's always going to be an education component to it as well. And so we really try to help you understand what solutions are out there, what providers and vendors are out there, and how they can help you meet your business needs. This is a photo from back in 2019. It's a much smaller organization back then. I would say it was probably half the size we are today. But that year we won Citrix's Innovation Partner of the Year. And it was a banner year. The small company out of North Carolina recognized on the national stage with Citrix. We've continued that trend with iGel over the last few years, and several other partners, with accolades from our vendor partners who enjoy working with us as well. So as I said, we try to do lots of events, lots of in-person events. You can find that full schedule out at events.xentegra.com. We try to put them all across our geographies. So you can find something local to you, hopefully, out there on our website. Again, events.xentegra.com. We also do weekly webinars. Each week we focus a spotlight on one of our technology partners, and we try to do a webinar each week. So you can find all of those upcoming webinars at webinars.xentegra.com. We also spend a lot of time trying to educate in a more outgoing way, I guess. We do podcasts. So Harvey, Paul, and I sometimes get together. We talk about Nutanix. We've got other folks from Nutanix that join in as well. And then we've got about 10 other podcasts out there on various different technology topics, ranging from Microsoft to VMware to Citrix to iGel. You can find things that you're interested in and learn more about it each week. Everyone needs a NASCAR slide. We're no different. We work with a lot of different verticals, a lot of different companies. This is our NASCAR slide with all of the logos. We work with banks. We work with healthcare providers, healthcare companies, energy providers, entertainment, industrial customers across the board, various different sizes, various different shapes. But we're here to try and help you succeed to your business goals. So recapping, who is Xentegra? Well, we're a reseller. You can buy things from us. We're also a service provider, both professional and managed services. So short-term, long-term managed services, both are available for us. But most of all, we're a solutions provider. We try to bring together the best of all of our vendors, and we understand that sometimes the solution you need is going to be something that is blended across multiple different vendors. It may be Nutanix, it may be Citrix, it may be VMware, it may be iGel, it may be a mixture of all of those together. And so what we try to do is make sure that we've got a cohesive story across all of those vendor partners so that you can succeed. Again, here on the slide, some of the things that we work in, we focus heavily in digital workspace, digital services. We've got a modern apps practice focused on ServiceNow. We do consulting services and engagements, advisory services, assessments, that kind of thing. We can help you buy your products and also help you with your product renewals. And we have a large practice focused on cloud hosting across AWS, Azure, GCP. One vendor to help you across multiple different solutions. And today, we're here with our great partner, Nutanix. All the partners that we work with are available, and you can find them at partners.xentegra.com. There's a lot of logos on that screen as well. But we're really happy to have Paul and the Nutanix team today to talk with us about Nutanix Files. And so just a couple more slides. We do have a managed service practice called Xentegra Connect. We work with Nutanix there. Actually, all of our hosting is fully based on Nutanix within our managed service practice. But we also work with Microsoft closely, VMware Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and others. We can also help you from a staffing standpoint. So if you're looking for talent, reach out to us at jobs.xentegra.com. We've got a full service staffing suite of people. So we've got a bench of different candidates that you can tap into. We'd love to be able to help you find the talent that you need as well. And like I mentioned before, we offer free assessments across all the different technologies that we work with, all the different vendors. So that's a great way to get to know us. It's a great first step, and it's zero cost to yourself. And hopefully you'll walk away with some great technical advisement and information. So calls to action. What can you do to work with us? Well, we can help you plan. We can help you quote. We can provide demos for you. And we can be that service provider to help you meet your business goals. That's us. That's Xentegra. And we're here to help. And today, we're helping through facilitating this conversation and education session with Nutanix. So without further ado, I am going to turn things over to Paul. And Paul, if you want to go ahead and get your screen sharing started. We'll also talk a little bit about our labs up front and try to get everybody started on that as well.
Cool. Appreciate it, Philip. And for anyone on the call, Xentegra is definitely one of our top partners at Nutanix. They're a big Citrix bar, and Citrix announced that Nutanix is their #1 platform of choice. So the partnership is just natural with Xentegra and Nutanix on that front. Import my screen here. Cool. Cool. So today, our bootcamp today is I renamed it NUS because we bundled files together as a unified storage platform. And I'll go over what that kind of means. But before I start, I do want to get you guys into the lab early, just to make sure we have no hiccups. Philip, would you be able to put the link in the chat?
I will, and I'm also working on an email that should go out here in just a moment that will have the link in it as well. I'm pasting it into the chat right now.
Perfect, perfect. So once you guys get that link, it's called our test drive lab. Sign up to Nutanix. It should take maybe 5 to 10 minutes to set up an instance. But yeah, sign up, log into the lab. Just make sure you guys get in, and we'll show you how to go through the labs at the end of the presentation. But it's pretty straightforward. If you guys are familiar with Microsoft and the Clippy icon guy, it takes you step by step. The bubble will pop up and guide you through the lab. Cool. And again, I do like to have my presentation a little more open, right? For free, time in, ask any questions. I used to live in New York, so I'm pretty used to getting interrupted all the time. So please make it more fun, have it interactive, have a conversation. Just like Harvey said, let's do the chocolate stump here. But I'll refer everything over to Philip. Cool. But yeah, for anyone new in the call that's not familiar with Nutanix, I do want to take a quick, maybe just 5-minute refresher on the basics of Nutanix and how we came to be, for them to understand how files and objects and volume play into Nutanix. So for anyone new to the call, right, our main goal 10 years ago when we started the company was to modernize the old 3-tier legacy infrastructure of customers. 3-tier is what you're familiar with. It's your top of the rack network switches, your compute server with virtualization on top, all connected to either fiber channel or iSCSI to a storage controller or SAN or NAS. But that comes with complexity, right? I call it the 20-80 rule. 80% of your time as a company, you're spending just to maintain and run that infrastructure, right? With 3-tier, you might have 3 different vendors. You might have a Cisco switch, a Dell server, an HPE storage. That's 3 different vendors. You'd have specialized skills. You have to make sure they all work together, right? That causes longer planning cycles, upgrade patches. We're spending a lot of time just managing that infrastructure instead of what matters the most, right? And that's running and getting revenue for your company. Nutanix eliminated that problem by collapsing the 3-tier into a 2U appliance chassis. I kind of call it a cloud in the box because you're getting a cloud economic on-premise on a 2U Nutanix box. We are a software company, so we don't mind where you put our software on or which hardware vendor. All right, we partner with HPE, Lenovo, IBM, Cisco, and Dell for your hardware needs. Again, we're software defined, grow as you need, add more nodes to the environment. We can work with any hypervisor. We are hypervisor agnostic, but we do have our own built-in hypervisor called AHV, built-in, plug and play, ready to go within the environment. But for whatever reason, you guys still need to use ESXi or Hyper-V, we can. We also have built-in Kubernetes K8 orchestration with Carbon, and a lot of new cool stuff that just came out with our containerized functionality that was announced at .next. If you guys weren't attending .next, there's a lot of blogs and info out at Nutanix.next out in the internet. Take a look. We can also do another session afterwards, one-on-one, to go over what's new with Nutanix as well. So a lot of cool news that came out of Chicago.next that I'm really, really excited about. Cool. And then we integrate compute, storage, virtualization, network, and security, all packaged together into a 2U, what I call cloud in the box economics for you guys. I found this picture on the internet and I thought it was kind of funny. Kind of like to think it's either Philip or Harvey, lost in the data center there with all those wires and everything tangled around. Once you modernize the infrastructure, you can see how neat and clean it is there on the right-hand side. Much more easier to manage, less cables, less wires, just a nicer, cleaner feel to your data center once you modernize it with Nutanix HCI. Any IT admins out there are pretty familiar with this. If you're managing your infrastructure, you have multiple tabs, multiple windows. Just to manage infrastructure, right? You might have your own tab for your Cisco UCS, your NetApp file review or Snap Mirror, Dell, right? Log into IPMI for your servers. With Nutanix, it's all that collapsed and condensed into a single pane glass of view, what we call our Prism Element console. So again, you can hear me say this a lot. It's a cloud in the box experience. What you guys are getting, right, is all the best parts of the public cloud, right? Rapid time to market, fractional IT consumption, one-click operations, continuous innovation, all that on-premise, the cloud in the box with web-scale engineering, self-defined storage, self-healing, and off-the-shelf hardware with your favorite OEM vendor. So you can see here, the slide system or home, you're getting that cloud experience on-premise at your data center. What makes Nutanix and HCI is their secret sauce called the CVM, or the controller virtual machine. Why is it so prevalent and I would say famous with us is back with the CVM, right? In a normal environment, let's say you have an all-flash, very fast SAN. No matter how fast it is, you're still bottlenecked, right, by those two physical controllers that comes with it. Normally they come with two controllers for HA, but let's say you have 100 VM, 100 servers all log into that two physical controllers. It's going to bottleneck, right? We eliminated that problem by making our controllers virtual. And then we have on every single node in our environment to add more I/O, right? More ingestion rates, more doors to the house, as you will, to eliminate that bottleneck issue. That is also how we got our claim to fame, like I mentioned earlier with Citrix and VDI. If anyone used VDI before, it's called the bootstorm effect, where if you get bottlenecked, let's say you type something, 100 users log in all at once, you type in something, 10, 20 seconds later, it'll start typing, right? That's the bottleneck on those two controllers. We eliminated that where we eliminated the bootstorm effect with VDI. So that's how we got our claim to fame. But we do a lot more now than just VDI workloads. We can work with the whole gamut, right? We can do mission criticals, databases, machine learning, Splunk, any workload you have, we can house it within our Nutanix infrastructure. Cool. Question, concern, comments so far? Again, I went through this pretty quick just to get everyone up to speed and familiarized with Nutanix 101 before I dive into files. But another cool thing with the CVM, each CVM houses our Prism elements. Right, if one CVM goes down, you can still log into another CVM to log into Prism element there. So another HA, another fail-safe, and we'll just rebuild that CVM as we go. So a lot of cool things with the CVM that we dive into. But any questions, concern, comments before I dive into NUS and files? Or Philip, anything you want to add?
I would say the only thing to add is think of everything we've talked about this far as kind of the base layer of the platform. And what Paul's going to unwrap for you next is just one of a number of different things that can run on top of it. And so this is sort of the base enablement is the way I like to think about it.
Yep. Perfectly said, Philip. Yeah, once you build the base layer with Nutanix HCI, That's where the fun comes in, right? You can add more layers on top. One of it is files, objects, and volume, which we're combining it as Nutanix unified storage. We can also put security on top, automation as well. A lot of people don't know that we can do automation processes. A lot of cool things we can definitely dive into if that piques anyone's interest. But today will be NUS. So to my knowledge, maybe other vendors are catching up, but to my knowledge, we're one of the few or only vendors out there that can do all three storage mode in a single cluster. So you don't have to buy a separate Nutanix family of products. For this, you can put files, objects, and block in a single Nutanix cluster environment and run Nutanix. How is it licensed? So we introduced our PNP 2.0 pricing and packaging. We make it a lot easier for you guys as a customer to purchase our product by bundling most of our products together. The infrastructure-wise will be cloud infrastructure and cloud management bundle. You can see the names of the product underneath. But what we go over today is the top left corner with unified storage. And if you go with the NUS bundle, you'll get files, objects, volumes, and mine. Nutanix Mine is our backup target appliance for secondary storage. We do partner with Haiku and Veeam, many more to go, to have Nutanix Mine as a backup target. But if you go with Starter, you get objects right off the bat. Pro, you get files and volume, the volume groups. How is licensed? It's very simple. We're just going to license by your usable terabytes. So if you have 5 terabytes of usable files, we'll just license by those 5. That's where it's fractional consumption, grow as you need, very easy to grow. If you went from 5 terabytes to maybe 10, 20 the next year, we'll just license 10, 20 more licenses for you by the usable terabytes. So very easy to scale, very easy to license. Question, concern, comments on the licensing model? It's pretty straightforward. Everything else you see is by your physical core, but at unified storage, it's just your usable terabyte by files. Question, concern, comments on that? Anyone? Cool. So let's dive into files first, and we'll go over objects. So introducing Nutanix Files. It's simple. Deploys within minutes. Managed through Prism Element, just the same as your normal HCI environments. One-click upgrades, everything that's you're used to with Nutanix is available. Again, pay as you grow, very flexible. It's just by the terabytes you guys have. Grow, add more terabytes to it. We can put files on your core data center at a remote site to the edge, or even across cloud with AWS and Azure. We also have 2 modes of how you can deploy files, mixed cluster or dedicated cluster. So what does that mean, mixed and dedicated? So mixed cluster is for if you have a smaller files environment, but you don't want to have Nutanix just run only files. You can mix that, right? Mixed cluster. You can mix files in within your general purpose VMs or databases, workload, or what have you. Dedicated is for the customers that have maybe 200, 300 terabytes of files. We can have a Nutanix cluster just dedicated solely for files purposes. So 2 modes there. They can go. Files analytics is included in both. But no, there's mixed cluster and dedicated for depending on your size of your files environment. Cool. So how does our files work? So we're going to create what we call a file server entity or a namespace. Within the file server entity, we will build out what we call FS VMs or file server VMs. We will start out with 3. And we can max out at 16 FSVMs in a single file server entity. You can have as many file server entities as you like, hence 16 FSVMs not right the limit. Just build more entities. Why would you need a lot of entities? For example, if you want to have an entity just for your engineering department, your sales department, your marketing department can all have its own file server entity. Or you have multiple sites, right? You can have your LA office as one entity, your New York office as another entity, your Austin, Texas as another entity. So a lot of ways you can separate out your files. And again, as many entities as you like, and 16 FSVMs per entity. You can see here, hopefully it shows a little better. So we have our FS1 client as the entity, and then we have FSVMs on each node underneath. So we'll have one FSVM on each node. We do need 3 to start out, but if you have one node robos, we can have one FSVM, but best practice, we have 3 node, a normal enhanced cluster to have one FSVM per node. But that's one FSVM per entity. We can do, right, multi-tenancy. So that's where you can see there's more than one FSVM, but they're part of a different entity. So we can do multi-tenancy within Nutanix. Build out your different entities, different departments, and we'll strike across with FSVMs there with multi-tenancy. And again, going back, like I mentioned before, we can have one FSVM for robo environments. But the caveat is we can't scale out with one FSVM. Those are for any edge environments or robos, we can do one file server VM. Again, best practice, if your main data center have it as 3 nodes, scale out, and we'll build out those file server entities. Cool. So 2 ways we can do the shares. We can do distributed shares or standard shares. So with distributed shares, we'll take full advantage of it being software-defined storage within Nutanix. You can see here, we'll stripe across the 3 nodes. So you can access the share within any FSVM. And you can have multiple volume groups attached to it. But if you need to have standard shares, you can do that as well. So that's 1 share per FSVM per volume group. Scaling is very simple as well. So you can scale up. If you add more users to a node and it runs out of resources, go ahead and add more memory, more compute to scale up. Or we can scale out by adding more nodes into the infrastructure. So it's like a normal Nutanix environment, add more nodes, add more resources to the pool, and we'll stripe across the load within your environment. We'll optimize as well. If one FSVM gets too hot, we'll just redirect the files over to a different FSVM. Cool. So in real time, this process will happen within a split second, but I kind of just want to run you through how we fetch a file. So say here, I'm a user, I'm looking for the file, right? What would happen is I'll reach out to the DNS server to look for what the file is. So where is it? The DNS will bounce back to me with the IP address, the path to that file. It's directing me to FSVM1, but it's not there. You can see it's the file is in FSVM2. So it will refer me to FSVM2. I'll reach back to DNS where the FSVM2 path located is. Gives me the IP address of FSVM2, and there's my ump file there. Again, this happens within a split second, but just want to show you guys the path of how we fetch data. These are the protocols. We can do both SMB and NFS. I'll pause the screen here for a little quick so you guys can read and digest. SMB 3.0 and above, right? Or sorry, 2.0 and above. NFS, we can do version 4 and 4.2. What most people are not familiar with or maybe not know is that we can actually have one share be multiple protocols. It can be both SMB and NFS. So select your share, choose the protocol, the main protocol. Let's say we want to be SMB. You see there at the bottom, it says also enable native NFS access. We can do both by like a single click of the button. With high availability, let's say an FSVM goes down, we'll just move the shares and the volume groups over to FSVM2 while we fix the node 1 up and running. Smart DR is also built into our NUS package. It will be managed through what we call Prism Central. And you'll see this in the lab. Just think Prism Central as the upper layer management above Prism Element. So to backtrack a little bit, Prism Element manages a single cluster. Prism Central manages multiple Prism elements, hence manage multiple clusters, multiple sites. We are pushing our customer base more to get more familiarized with Prism Central. Just run everything through there. Everything you can do in Prism Element, you can do in Prism Central as well. And that's where we kind of like our customer base to focus on DR, replication, setting up policies on Prism Central. But you can see here with Smart DR, we have Site 1 and Site 2, Cluster 1 and Site 1, Cluster 2 and Site 2, or where have you, wherever you want to place Nutanix Cluster 2 at. But we'll replicate the shares over. You can see there in Site 1, it's going to be read and write. Once you replicate it, it'll be read only. I'll let you guys read and digest. Pretty much everything I went over, controlled by Prism Central on a shared level replication. The policies, your RPOs and RTOs will set in Prism Central. We can back up if you do our synthetic lightweight snapshots. We can back up from 1 minute to 10-minute frequency. File server marked as active will be read and write, and the ones that are standby in Site 2 will be on read-only access mode to the shares. When we fail over to Site 2, you can see that read only turns into read and write, and that becomes your primary share to access. Again, it's controlled within Prism Central. It will be updated in your Active Directory and DNS. The standby file server will resolve into your primary file server, and that's where it becomes read and write. And then you can create replication policies in reverse direction as well, back and forth from Site 2 back to Site 1. Once you get Site 1 back up and running again, just replicate anything new in Site 2 over to Site 1. Inline virus scans. We'll leverage external third-party solutions to do your virus scans when you send files over. We also pair up with any backup vendor that uses change file tracking or CFT. We can leverage that as well. Very powerful, right? With change file tracking, that means we only take backups of the delta changes. So you're not doing a full backup every time. That takes up time and space in your backup repository, right? Only taking the deltas. If there are no deltas, right, there's nothing that we're backing up. These are just some of the vendors that we pair up with, but there's definitely more added on as of late. Right, Haiku, Veeam, Commvault, Veritas all do CFT. They can leverage into your backup target. And again, backup target can be our platform called Nutanix Mine, powered by either Haiku, Commvault, or Veritas. But you can use any backup target you guys like. Question, concern, comments on CFT or backup or SmartDR within files? Again, it comes included with our NUS bundle, SmartDR and backup. Also included is Files Analytics and Data Lens. It's our advanced data analytics as a service. I kind of like to use the iceberg analogy with files analytics, right? A lot of times, you see the tip of the iceberg, right? The files that that are in your filer. But what's underneath the water? What's that 80% of the iceberg that you don't see, right? We can scan your filer with Data Lens and Files Analytics. Scan data about data, or they MP3s, or they text files, PowerPoints, JPEGs. What data are they? We can also see data aging as well. How long has that file been in your filer? Do we need to set up retention policies and archive those out? You can manage a lot through data about data. Anomaly detection as well. So we do tie into your Active Directory. We can see what user logged into what file, when, where, and why, and how long they access the file. A good audit trail for that is if someone leaves the company, did they take the file with them? We can lock it. We can see who took it. A lot of audits you can run with anomaly detection. Or if someone deletes 100 files every day, right? That's a red flag that we can flag down. We have ransomware protection built into it. More and more known blocks, malware that we found, we'll add to the list. We can add more and more ransomwares we added it, the more we update our products. Smart tiering, like I mentioned before, we can smart tier out directly to AWS S3 or to Azure Blob. You can see there, hot, warm, cold data. You'll set your policies within Nutanix. If a file is longer than 3 weeks or 12 months or however long you set the retention for, we'll tier it out to another object store or less expensive disk.
Hey, Paul.
Yes.
You had a question come through. I think it's from a couple slides back when you're talking through the compatibility with Haiku and Commvault. The question that came through was, is it compatible with Veeam?
Yes. So I don't know why it's not on my slide. This mixer not updated. So if you're running AHV, Veeam, Haiku, Commvault, Veritas are all certified to back up AHV. If you're using Veeam or EXXI, any backup vendor that can back up EXXI, you can use. Hopefully that answers your question. And more backup vendors are getting on board to back up AHV. So just depending on your hypervisor you're using.
Yep. Thanks, Paul.
Yep. Good question. Good question. Good clarification question. Cool. So the second part of NUS is your objects. It's native S3 compatible. It's simple and secure. And we'll scale out just like how we scale out any other product within Nutanix. Our object services, right? Again, it's just like your FSVMs. It's built one object on each node. We'll use a single S3 global namespace. If you're using NFS protocols, you can also access it through NFS as well. Small deployment, again, I don't recommend a single node cluster, but it is available if you're running Robo. But we can scale in a single cluster up to 32 nodes of objects. Again, that's just a single cluster. You can have multiple clusters where you can scale out to hundreds and hundreds of nodes to scale out. So what are the use cases of objects? It might be a little newer to a lot of customers, but objects is a great use case, right, for DevOps. The biggest one I see, right, is either long-term retention or for backup target. What's newer and what people are using objects for as of late is for big data analytics. We do pair up with NVIDIA as one of our strategic partners. We can house big data analytics in our Nutanix object store. But again, I see the most use case for it is for long-term retention. You need to put store somewhere, put it into objects, and use it as a backup target, as well as another object tool. Object will run on Nutanix Mine if needed. But yeah, these are the use cases I see with Nutanix objects. Right? With DevOps, long-term retention, so your lifecycle policies. It's after a couple years, it's retention it out to object, backup target, and big data analytics. Cool. Any questions on the PowerPoint? If not, let's we can take a quick 10-minute break. I want to show a quick demo, and then we'll just run labs the rest of the time. But before we go on break, any questions and comments on objects or just files or anything in general? Cool. If not, let's take a break. Let's come back at 12:05, and I'll run through a quick demo for you guys, and we'll do labs. All right, guys, it's 12:05. Are you guys back?
I'm here.
Cool, cool. Make sure you guys can hear me.
Yeah. Well, you're not worried about me.
So I'm noticing test drive is loading a little slower than usual. Hang on, let me show the pop-up this real quick, make sure everyone's logged in. Cool. Just to double check, did everyone get this test drive link and is able to click on it? I noticed there's a few differences because we updated this a little bit. If you scroll down, go ahead and launch the simplified data management one. I should have pointed this out earlier, but I thought we'd redirect directly to this one. But go down and select the simplified data management one and go ahead and click launch. Mine's still provisioning, but it should take 10 to 15 minutes. I don't know why it's a little slower than usual today. Maybe a lot of people are running and testing at the same time. But this link you can use at any time. The test drive, it doesn't provision in time. You can do it over the weekend if you guys like. But a little better if you guys can do it today. So you guys have myself, Harvey, and Philip in case you guys run into any issues. But go ahead and launch it. So, but hopefully by the time I finish my demo, it'll be up and running for you guys. But yeah, let us know if you guys have any questions, concerns on the link. So again, click on the link that was sent out. Scroll all the way down to simplify data management. Should see it be files, NUS, and objects. And go ahead and click launch. Create your Nutanix credentials, and it should be the environment should be up and running within 10 to 15 minutes. Question, concern, comments? Any issues with the link, team? Cool. What do you guys have that up and running while provisioning? Well, let's do a quick demo. So let me share my other screen. I want to do this on the PowerPoint about Data Lens. With Nutanix, if you buy NUS, you do get Data Lens for free for a year. But Data Analytics, you get part of the package. But Data Lens will give you a holistic view. If you have more than one site, more than one location, you can see all your file servers across the globe. You see here in this demo environment, F9 in the US and 14 in EMEA. We can get a quick view. Right, you can see total file servers we have, number of shares, and the capacity. If I drill down, you can see all the different file servers I have. But let's go ahead and select one to dive in. So I just dove right into one of my file servers or one of my file server entities. If you remember, the main point of Data Lens and Files Analytics is for data about data. You can see data growth trends in a span of a year, or 7 days, 30 days, or 2 year. You can see the growth or decline from here. So again, from a year, last 30 days, or last 7 days, you can see a data growth trend. How much was added, how much was removed, and the total net change. You can see data type, right? What files are they? Are they videos? Are they CD, DVD images, text files, installers, right? QCows, ISO images. What files are in your filer? It'll give you a good pie graph of how much is each. You can see here in this demo environment, we have a lot of video files. Looks like a lot of people are watching Game of Thrones. And we can do smart tiering and show how much is cold, warm, and hot data as well. And let's dive into the smart tiering dashboard tool. So again, I can directly connect to AWS S3 or Azure Blob. There's two schools of thought how we can set up our storage lifecycle policies. One is we can actually set a threshold, right? As any storage admins out there, you don't want your storage to be over 75%, right? The closer it is to 100, the more it degrades and slower your production, your environment is going to go. So you can set a threshold. 50 is pretty aggressive. You can change it to 70. Once it hits 70%, it's going to start offloading files out of your filer to a less expensive disk. And you can set up a schedule whenever you want to run the tiering process. Second method is what most people use, right? Is the tiering policy. You can set for any data aging older than 5 days to weeks, months, and years. I know a lot of law firms, right, need to keep the files for 7 years. That's pretty industry standard. Most others I've seen 5 years. So if something hits 5-year mark, let's just go ahead and upload it out to your, archive it out to your less expensive disk. And you can choose your file size as well. Again, I have this set up to tier out to AWS. You can do cost model as well. You can see how much I'm saving there per year. Going back to the dashboard, right? You can see my top users, any permission denials they run into, any files they active users, what they access, and what they created. So let's go over here. Let's go to audit trails. We can search for a file, so you can find anything txt. Let me go back. I'll search up a zip file, so I know at least we have something there. So you can search up a single file, and you can see more data about that file, right? You can see the file path, parent folder located, the share name, and who owns it, which is Sharon. View audit, right? You can see who read and write, permissions, more data about that single file. You can see when it's created. A lot of times people lose folders within folders. You can search within the folder as well and see what's underneath that folder. You can also see and dive into single users. So we know Sharon exists in this environment. Let's look up Sharon again. Sorry, Sharon. And you can view and audit what she's done recently. So you can see she did a rename operation. You can ask her, like, hey, why did you rename a certain file if need be? But view audit, right? You can see all of her actions. Again, it's tied to the Active Directory, so you can see all the changes, all the actions that Sharon has done. If she ever leaves the company, you can see what she did before she left, or if she took any files with her, and run a report and run it to your manager. So I think it's pretty powerful. You can log in and see single users, right? If you see someone delete a bunch of files, you can see here she deleted 60. You can be like, hey, what's going on? Why a lot of deleted files, permission changes, and permission denials. Is she accessing files that she shouldn't be accessing? Why is she getting so many permission denials? you can go ahead and audit individual employees with your in your organization. So I think it's very powerful there with the audit trails. Dive again, right? Single files, look within folders, and dive into single users. On top of audit trails, we can set up anomalies. So again, I give example of Sharon deleting a bunch of files. That's a red flag, right? We can define an anomaly rule to flag down if more people start deleting 10 or more files a day. There's a couple of presets, but we can create our own anomaly rule. Put in your email, so whenever there's a flag alert, you'll get notified. There's already two created, right? So we put one is delete. Let's say someone deletes 100, 500 counts within an hour. That's an easy anomaly. A couple more here. If they create a bunch of files, delete, permission changes, access denied. We can, if a user access denied 3 times to a single file, that's usually a red alert. Like, where are they accessing that file? Minimum count, I definitely don't want to do it. 500, maybe 3 attempts. Give them 3 attempts within an hour and lock them out. So a lot of cool anomaly detection and alerts you guys can set there. Any question, concern, comments on this? I think this is pretty cool. Again, right, you want to make sure you know who's accessing your file, when, where, and why. You don't want to any issues or any legal issues as well. Oh, I went back. And again, the third benefit of Data Lens and Files Analytics is a built-in ransomware protection. Right now, there's about close to 4,500 no signatures that we're blocking. You can download and add more to that list, or we're going to upgrade that list every time we upgrade our files server. We will be able to add in a whitelist as well, so anything you need to pass through, you can. But just know we're blocking any malware, any harmful attacks to your file server. So ransomware protection is built in to Data Lens. Very powerful. Again, it gets updated every time. The more known malware is detected, we'll add it to the block file signature list. Cool. Again, data analytics, it's built into your product. To get Data Lens, to get a holistic view, you do get 1 year for free. Afterwards will be your freemium. Some options are still there available. If we want the full gamut, we'll get Data Lens. But again, Files Analytics is included with the NUS purchase. Question, concern, comments on the demo? If not, hopefully the lab is up and running. It'll guide you through how to create a file server, connect to Data Lens, and run a couple analytics. Oh, I guess what I forgot to show, it's very easy to do a scan. Hit the gearbox and scan a file system to get these analytics here to pop up and populate. Yeah, the lab is pretty self-explanatory. Again, it'll pop up bubble chats to guide you through the lab. Again, it'll have you logged into Prism Element, create a file server entity. It'll create out 3 FSVMs. Once you create that, log into Data Lens if you like and play around with data analytics. So cool stuff. Question, concern, comments on this, and I'll give your time back to run the labs. Or anything else to add, Philip and Harvey?
No, I think that was a fantastic demo. You know, I love Data Lens. there's a lot of other competing products out there that you pay extra for. That being included is a huge value.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I just want to ask my good buddy James if he feels like he has the answer to his question.
What was the question, James?
James started out
Oh, right.
early, asking if it was a good idea to switch his profiles to Nutanix files. And I was just making sure that he got his answer.
Yeah, and hopefully I pointed out with the time to Active Directory and run all the scans and anomaly detection of your users as well. Yeah, well, let us know if you have any issues logging into the lab. Let's see if mine is up and running. Yeah, mine is still provisioning. the test drive doesn't get provisioned in time today. Again, you can use this link to log in over the weekend, anytime you have free time. I do apologize why it's taking a little longer today. Might be a bit of a jam. A lot of people are logging into it. I'm about 80% in. I don't know how far you guys are. Was anyone able to get in? James, Daniel, Andrew, Pani, Mohammed.
Yep, this is Andrew. I was able to get in.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you're more important than me.
Provisioning for me. Funny this side.
Yeah, there's not, I don't see a percentage either. It's just that purple ring circle. Oh, actually there is. Here, let me share my screen.
Sorry, what was that? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, if you hover over the purple circle, you can see the percentage.
Yeah, it's at 16%.
Okay, okay. Yeah, again, I apologize. I don't know. The
No
hiccup,
problem.
it might be just a resource being hogged up.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I joined a little bit early on that one. I probably joined, I don't know, maybe a half hour, 40 minutes ago. So mine provisioned fairly quickly.
Okay, perfect. I just added a new link for anyone that couldn't get in or log down or slow down. Try the second link as well if the first one didn't work.
And mine is at 16 for the last few minutes. It's not moving.
Yeah, Fani, try the second link I sent out.
Okay, sure.
Sorry about that. Let me share
No
my screen.
problem.
Yeah, if you click on the new link I sent out, go ahead and click on Simplified Data Management and click on Launch Test Drive here. Make sure you use this
Yeah.
link.
Yeah, launch this time. Yeah.
Cool. You can see mine is at 80%.
Okay. It says it's still configuring.
Actually, I'm on the unlucky one. It's still 0% since like 20 minutes ago. Then I think I will just watch it and write down the notes and do it later, just to
Yep.
not get you. Yeah.
Yeah, apologies for that, Mojave.
Yeah, no worries. Actually, I tried twice. It's stuck on 0%. Not sure why, but no worries. I'm already using a Nutanix file at my company. Just
Perfect.
I have some good like experience, but I just want to see the other features like data lens today. It's something new for me.
Perfect. I'm glad. Yeah, the data lens is very powerful.
Yes.
And you get data lens wise, you get 1 year free. But analytics, just for a single file server, you get that for free. Cool.
Yeah.
And again, if you type in Nutanix test drive, you can go in the lab anytime you like. Doesn't have to be today.
Yeah, sure. I can do it later. I'm just writing down what is the features that I miss. Then I can like do it in the lab.
Cool. Appreciate it, Mohammed.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Philip, can you do me a favor and try the second link? See if that works for you. I'm still stuck at 80%.
Yeah, I tried the second link and I clicked. It says active grayed out and nothing happened after that. And the other one is still at
Can
16.
you share your screen with me so I can see?
Sure.
And hopefully I can help out whoever runs the same issue.
Maybe there is a limitation on the concurrent sessions. Maybe they have something like this. I'm not sure.
I don't see an option to share screen.
Can attendees share screen, Philip?
Yes.
It should be at the bottom, Connie. Should have an arrow that says share screen.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
I only see chat, raise hand, and Q&A.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, mine is still going, but whenever it's done, you hit connect button here. Do you see connect button, Fanny?
Are you seeing this, Paul?
Yeah, go ahead and click on it.
Yeah, it is grayed out. It's not active.
Sure. Double click on simplified data management. See the purple arrow to the right.
Yeah, it's grayed out.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me put that as a note to my team.
Yeah.
Wait.
Which browser are you use?
This is Edge.
Use Chrome, Edge, or Firefox. The Edge is there already. So
Yeah, it's Edge. Yeah, it supports Edge.
yeah.
And this is the other one, which is still at 16.
Oh, that's why then it's not it didn't finish yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's grayed out because it's not provisioned. Yeah, so you can stop the recording. Yeah, I apologize, guys. We can cut this one short until we get this fixed. Again, you guys can log in to a test drive whenever you guys like. Philip and Harvey, is there anything else you guys want to present and show the team before we close out? If not, I appreciate everyone's time. Thank you for taking time hopping on to learn more about Nutanix Files. I hope you guys got benefit of seeing Data Lens and Analytics live. Again, I apologize for the lab. I pinged my team about it. We should get it fixed up and running. See if it works over the weekend. If not, hopefully you have Philip's email. If anything, he'll send me an email as well. But feel free to reach out to Philip and myself. If anything else, have a great weekend, and hopefully we'll see you in the next bootcamp.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you very much.